right? So Harry and Meghan have done it again, haven't they? They've managed to be in two places at once, or at least create the illusion of it, because Prince Harry and Meghan Markle made what is being called a surprise appearance at last night's NAACP Image Awards, Creative Honors in Los Angeles. Their appearance via video came just hours after they concluded their two-day trip to Jordan. Just hours. Now, before anyone gets too impressed by their apparent ability to teleport from the Middle East to California in a matter of hours, let me clarify something very important. The clip appears to have been pre-recorded, which means they filmed this video before they left for Jordan, probably days or even weeks ago, and it was played at the awards ceremony to create the impression that they were somehow involved and present, despite being on the other side of the world. It is all very strategic, very calculated, very much on brand for the Sussexes. The clip, which we've now seen, shows Harry and Meghan standing side by side in their Montecito home, looking absolutely picture perfect, as always. Meghan is wearing a white roll-neck jumper with her long dark hair loosely curled. Very casual, very California, very much the image of relaxed wealth and comfort. Harry is wearing a white shirt and a dark jacket, smart casual as usual. And the couple appeared on screen to announce the NAACP Arkwell Digital Civil Rights Award, which recognizes leaders at the intersection of technology and social justice. Dr. Mary Anne Franks was announced as the award winner in recognition of her leadership at the Cyber Civil Rights Initiative. Now, all of that sounds very worthy, very important, very commendable. I am not questioning the value of Dr. Franks' work or the importance of digital civil rights. What I am questioning is Harry and Meghan's role in all of this, and whether their involvement is genuinely about the cause, or whether it is about keeping their names in the headlines and maintaining their brand. Because here is what we need to remember. In 2022, the Duke and Duchess were awarded the NAACP President's Award in recognition of their work to help a women's shelter in Texas, their promotion of COVID vaccine equity, and a partnership to create community relief centers. They love these awards. They love these accolades. They love being recognized as humanitarians and change makers. And look, maybe they do genuinely care about these causes. I am willing to give them the benefit of the doubt on that. But what I am not willing to overlook is the pattern we're seeing here. The pattern of Harry and Meghan attaching themselves to every possible worthy cause, every possible humanitarian crisis, every possible social justice issue, and making sure there are cameras, press releases, and carefully coordinated media coverage documenting their involvement every single step of the way. Earlier on Thursday, while still in Jordan, Harry made statements about Gaza that have now been reported by Channel 4 News. Harry said food and medical aid corridors need to be opened to help people in Gaza, telling the press that, and I quote, "The aid corridors need to be opened," and they are currently not. Now, Harry was speaking after hearing an update on the situation from World Central Kitchen, which provides fresh meals in response to crises, and echoing the thoughts of WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus. Harry said there is a need for, and again I am quoting, full access for humanitarian organizations to be able to deliver that aid to the people that need it the most. Now let's pause for a moment and talk about what Harry is actually doing here. He is making political statements about an incredibly complex, incredibly sensitive, incredibly contentious international conflict. He is calling for aid corridors to be opened. He is speaking about access for humanitarian organizations. And while all of that sounds reasonable and compassionate on the surface, what Harry is doing, whether he realizes it or not, is wading into geopolitics. He is taking a position, however well-intentioned, on a conflict that involves multiple nations, decades of history, and extraordinarily complicated diplomatic considerations. And he is doing this as a former member of the British royal family who still uses his royal title and still benefits from his royal status, despite having stepped back from royal duties. When working members of the royal family travel abroad, especially to regions dealing with conflict or humanitarian crisis, their statements are carefully coordinated through the Foreign Office. There are diplomatic protocols, there are considerations about how their words will be interpreted internationally. There are concerns about Britain's relationships with various nations and parties to conflicts. But Harry doesn't have to worry about any of that anymore, does he? He can just fly to Jordan with a WHO delegation, hear about the situation from World Central Kitchen, and then make statements to Channel 4 News about what needs to happen in Gaza. No Foreign Office coordination. No diplomatic oversight, no consideration for how his words might complicate Britain's position or diplomatic efforts. Just Harry speaking his mind, saying what he thinks is right, consequences be damned. And look, I am not saying Harry's wrong about aid corridors needing to be opened. I am not saying humanitarian access isn't important. What I am saying is that Harry cannot have it both ways. He cannot step back from being a working royal, move to California, sign Netflix deals, write tell-all memoirs, and conduct Oprah interviews attacking his family, and then also conduct pseudo-royal tours where he makes political statements about international conflicts while trading on his royal title and royal status. That is not how this works. That is not how any of this is supposed to work. Harry and Meghan visited Jordan on Wednesday and Thursday, traveling with a World Health Organization delegation, meeting with Jordanian leaders, engaging with WHO teams, visiting frontline health programs, and having meetings with World Central Kitchen staff coordinating food relief for Gaza. It was, by all accounts and all appearances, a royal tour in everything but name. And then, just hours after concluding this tour, their pre-recorded video appeared at the NAACP Image Awards back in Los Angeles, announcing an award and keeping their names firmly in the American media cycle. Because that is what this is really about, isn't it? It is about maintaining relevance. It is about staying in the headlines. It is about keeping the Sussex brand visible and valuable. Think about the optics of what we're seeing here. Harry and Meghan fly to Jordan for a 2-day humanitarian trip that generates international headlines and professional photographs documenting every moment. They inform the palace out of courtesy, but don't actually need anyone's permission or coordination. They meet with world leaders and UN agencies. Harry makes political statements about Gaza to international media. And then, while all of this is happening, a pre-recorded video of them appears at an award ceremony in Los Angeles, where they're announcing a civil rights award through their Arkwell Foundation. They are literally trying to be everywhere at once. They are trying to position themselves as global humanitarian leaders, as American cultural influencers, as social justice advocates, as international diplomats, all simultaneously, all without any of the constraints or accountability that would normally come with any of those roles. And the mainstream media is largely eating it up, aren't they? Look at Harry and Meghan in Jordan, helping with humanitarian efforts. Look at Harry and Meghan appearing at the NAACP Awards. Look at Harry and Meghan speaking about Gaza. Look at Harry and Meghan promoting civil rights. It is all very impressive until you step back and ask the fundamental question, what are they actually accomplishing? What concrete change are they making? Or is this all just a very sophisticated, very well-funded publicity operation designed to maintain their celebrity status and commercial value while giving the appearance of meaningful humanitarian work? I keep coming back to the same point, and I am going to keep hammering it home because it matters. If Harry and Meghan genuinely wanted to do humanitarian work, if they genuinely cared about these causes more than they care about the publicity that comes from being associated with them, they could do it quietly, they could write checks, they could fundraise behind the scenes. They could use their platform to amplify the voices of people actually doing the work rather than making themselves the story. But that is not what happens. Every trip comes with professional photographers. Every appearance comes with press releases. Every statement is carefully coordinated with media outlets. This isn't humanitarianism, this is brand management. And pre-recording a video to be played at an awards ceremony while you are on a humanitarian trip in Jordan. That is peak Sussex strategy, that is maximizing your media presence across multiple continents and multiple news cycles from a single trip. That is making sure that even while you are in the Middle East supposedly focused on humanitarian crisis, you are also maintaining your presence in the American awards circuit and cultural landscape. It is having your cake and eating it too. Again, it is always having your cake and eating it too with Harry and Meghan. Here is the bottom line. Harry and Meghan pre-recorded a video that played at the NAACP Image Awards just hours after their Jordan trip concluded. They announced an award looked beautiful and polished in their Montecito home and kept their brand firmly in the American media. Meanwhile, Harry made political statements about Gaza while in Jordan, calling for aid corridors to be opened and humanitarian access to be granted. They're conducting freelance diplomacy, making international political statements, and positioning themselves as global humanitarian leaders, all while refusing to accept any of the constraints, protocols, or accountability that would normally come with those roles. They want the platform that comes from royal titles. They want the access that comes from royal status. They want the credibility that comes from royal association, but they don't want any of the responsibility, oversight, or constraints. And the fact that they can pull this off, the fact that the WHO invites them to Jordan and the NAACP gives them awards, and the media covers it all breathlessly, tells you everything you need to know about how celebrity culture has completely overtaken genuine humanitarian work. This has been Crown Watch. I'll see you next time.